It's human nature to want to be remembered, to want your life or death to be so impactful that for future generations, people are still talking about the things you've accomplished and the way you've changed the world for the better in your own right. It's not a theme or trope that's often talked about when it comes to fictional characters because most stories are held within the boundary of these various characters' lifetimes. One Piece, though, is a massive, sprawling work of fiction with over 1,000 chapters covering the lives and eras of so many different important and impactful people within that world. Some of these being Goldie Roger, the king of the pirates, before the story even began, and his death kicked off a massive pirate revolution. The entire age of the story we're living in is crafted by the impactful life and death of Roger, and everything that happens geopolitically is because of him. Fast forward about halfway through the story, we had the Marineford War, the biggest war within the confines of One Piece. It's a war between the Marines and mostly the Whitebeard pirates. Whitebeard being one of the 4 emperors, being a contemporary of Roger's, and as the war came to its conclusion, and unfortunately, Daddy Whitebeard was killed. It's so sad. He died bellowing that the One Piece, the thing that everyone's been searching for the last several decades, is in fact real. He died once again, kicking off a new generation of pirates into overdrive. He died once again, shaping the next generation, creating the ultimate meaning in his life and death, and how people will talk about him for generations to come, how he also changed the world. I mention all of this because Kaido has been one of the main villains of One Piece for years now, and we still have no idea what he wants. He's this dude who's big and brutish. He's really freaking strong. They call him the strongest man alive. We have a backstory of his where he keeps trying to die, where he keeps getting captured by the Marines, letting them capture him, and they just fail to kill him. Their spears shatter on his rock-hard, chiseled abs. Ugh. Sorry, the groan wasn't in the script. It just happened by accident. The man jumped off a sky island as a suicide attempt and ended up surviving the fall, leaving a meteor-sized crater in the island below. The guillotines shatter on his neck, bro. He's a man unable to die. Now, death is a massive theme when it comes to One Piece. So I don't think it's a coincidence that our introduction to him is not only insanely badass, giving us one of the coolest introductions to a character ever. The first time we see him is falling off of a sky island and being unfazed, but also I believe it tells us so much more about the character. Kaido is a character that grew up as part of the Rocks Pirates, a group that was wiped out by Roger and co, and he was growing watching Roger's life and death unfold in a way that it changed the world. He then became an emperor, someone who was a contemporary to another emperor, Whitebeard, and he saw Whitebeard's life and death unfold in a way that impacted the world around him as well. This is all before getting to Wano. This is all grasping at straws, trying to come up with some idea of what Kaido's motivations might be. Because so far, every time we have a villain, they have very clear-cut motives. Even someone like Big Mom, she's trying to take over the world, obviously, but through this interesting family aspect. She just marries everybody and boom, the whole world is her harem. All right, I mean, I guess it's a little more complicated than that, but Kaido's just strong. He's just this dude that's really powerful. We don't understand any of his motives. He's this guy, he always gets drunk. He's trying to kill himself. And for what? A man stuck in a cycle looking for an impactful death, but he's literally too strong to die. Kinda cool if you'd ask me, but not enough for a fleshed out character. I'm making this video in the honor of Kaisen and Phantom Sonic on Twitch, who donated 500 subs for this to happen. So y'all gotta thank them, and also follow me on Twitch. I might be doing a subathon type thing coming soon, you never know. But anyway, I think Kaido is much more complicated than all of it. I have a few theoretical opinions about him that actually make him one of the coolest characters in the story, instead of just a brutish villain like I think most people view him as. I think it's being continually hinted to as to who he really is, and I'd like to spread the ass cheeks on the situation and really dive right in. Since Wano started, we're learning a lot of things about everyone except for Kaido. We're learning nothing about Kaido, okay? We had this whole epic Odin backstory. We had King's cool backstory, how he joined up with Kaido, but we're not really learning anything about Kaido unless everything that we're learning in Wano is about Kaido. Unless Kaido is the focal point to a much, much bigger part of the story than just the antagonist of the Wano arc. First, we gotta mention the elephant in the room, Odin's backstory. For me, this was one of the greatest parts of all of One Piece. Oden's one of my top 5 characters in all of One Piece, just from this backstory alone, and I don't think that it gets the credit it deserves. Every time someone says the Wano arc is overrated, I'm thinking of Oden, the man born to be boiled, and the manliest of tears trickle down from my face. Okay, shut the hell up. I read that arc and I suffered emotional damage. But looking at it from Kaido's perspective, this was a very stolen victory from him. And by that I mean, here Kaido is, one of the Emperor. He's up against Oden, this random dude that's been dancing naked in the streets for the last couple of months, and he was going to lose. The only reason why he won against Oden was because Momonosuke was taken as a bit of a human shield situation, and Oden literally could not fight back. It was a victory stolen from Kaido, which did not make him feel good, and which is why the last chapter of One Piece was so dope about how Kaido was fighting Luffy. And it's true, Kaido might have actually won, but then CP0 guy gets involved, stealing Luffy's attention for the briefest of moments, which is when Kaido takes the dub. Another stolen victory. God, I love the thematic One Piece storytelling. God damn it, it's so good. So anyway, the Oden story and Oden battle was a battle that Kaido won, even though in his mind he did not necessarily deserve it. And it's because of something like this that he realizes, well, maybe I'm not the strongest man alive. Maybe I happen to be a very strong dude, don't get me wrong, but maybe I'm not fated to truly become the king of the pirate, or the ultimate harbinger of a new era. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because ever since the big fights have been happening, a lot of Joy Boy references have been showing up. Joy Boy is this historical figure, this epic dude, changed the world and stuff. Truth is, we don't really know exactly, but it's heavily implied that there's going to be some sort of reincarnation of Joy Boy, or a pivotal Joy Boy figure in the current generation that is going to change the world in a massive way. It's my belief that Kaido very much wanted to be that Joy Boy figure in the past, which is what he talked about with King when King joined him, which is what he talked about to Luffy in their second fight, saying, well, you can't be the Joy Boy. And truth is, it's still so much of an enigma. I'm not gonna make believe I understand more of it than any of you guys. And I do believe becoming this Joy Boy figure has to do a lot with hard work and strong morals. So I don't want to call it the Chosen One either, because I don't think that's what it is necessarily. That said, I'm gonna be calling it the Chosen One because calling it the Joy Boy sounds cringe as fuck. So Kaido wanted to be the chosen one, I think, for the longest time. And because he keeps losing these fights, or only winning due to extraneous methods, I think in his mind, he will not become that Joy Boy. In his mind, he is seeing all these other people have impactful lives and impactful deaths, and he cannot get that to happen. And that, in my opinion, is when the gears in Kaido's brain started turning. That is when Kaido decided, you know what? Fine, I'm not the Joy Boy. I'm not the chosen one. But whoever becomes the chosen one, goddamn, they are going to be known by the world because of me. This is a bit of a stretch, I admit. We're heading a little into theory zone. I'm just trying to look at the themes of this character and put a lot of his mysterious actions together throughout the course of the story. Now, once again, Oden's death, being that we're still kind of on that subject, changed the next era. What? You mean the character that we've been following the whole time in the flashbacks, the one that was killed by Kaido, has literally become the thing that Kaido envied his entire life? Yes. That's why I think a lot of these pieces of the puzzle are actually about Kaido. Even though they're about extremely different characters, throughout, it all ties into being witnessed by Kaido and being envied by Kaido. Here you have Oden dying, holding his scabbards above his head in probably the most badass scene in all of anime, saving all of their lives, sitting in boiling oil, getting killed because of a bullet, not because of the punishment that was inevitably meant to kill him. A death so powerful, witnessed by the eyes of the entire country, that death started the revolution that is going on today in One Piece time. Everything happening today is because of the insanely impactful death Kaido put into motion by Oden dying 20 years in the past. Once again, Kaido is looking at his nemesis die and change the world through an impactful death. Once again, Kaido is reminded that if he dies now, what does that even accomplish? Man, I love the theming of this guy! Oh my god! So now we're heading a little more into theoretical territory, because we did not get his backstory yet at the time of recording this video, and I'm praying that his backstory kind of falls in the lines of what I'm about to tell you, because this is so cool. Until here, I very much believe is analysis, okay? He's a dude who's trying to die because he wants an impactful death, and all of the people around him are dying deaths that literally change history. All right, until now, I believe it's pretty much factual analysis, okay? Here's where we get into more theoretical territory. What if Kaido is not trying to take over the world? What if Kaido is not trying to become the the next king of the pirates or the Joy Boy? What if Kaido's whole goal here is to become as powerful as he possibly can, to become the ultimate strongest person alive so that he can be defeated by Joy Boy, thereby cementing Joy Boy as the beacon of the future? What if he's setting everything up so he can have the ultimate death, putting Joy Boy on his throne? I am going to add basis to this theory. Obviously, don't get me wrong, but that would make Kaido one of the coolest villains in anime, manga, aside from honestly kind of a lukewarm one at this point of the story. But the cool part is so many things actually fit through this lens once you start looking at them with this being Kaido's final goal. Let's go back to Marineford for a minute, alright? We had this big war thing going on. People were fighting, people were dying. Kaido was like, sheesh, I'm getting myself involved in this shit, dog. I love wars, fighting and killing, especially because I can't die as much as I try to. Yes, I am a suicidal alcoholic that cannot die. Pretty whack. Anyway, so we know that he was going to Marineford to get involved in that fight, but he was stopped by Shanks. Hold on a second. This has been a debate in the community, I personally think, for a year, like 10 years, okay? Shanks stops Kaido from joining Marineford. How? Kaido believes he is stronger than Shanks. I believe Kaido is stronger than Shanks. Why? How did Shanks stop him from joining literally the thing that he wanted to do the most in the world? How did Shanks stop Kaido from joining the Marineford War? Why didn't Kaido bully Shanks? Why did Kaido listen and turn around without a fight? I mean, even if he was afraid of Shanks killing him, he's a dude that's trying to die, right? Let him fight Shanks. If he wins, he joins the war. If he loses, he dies. Win-win for the Kaido man. Unless Shanks turned him away with diplomacy. Unless Shanks said, listen, there's this person in the war by the name of Luffy. Luffy, in my opinion, is the next Joy Boy. He is the next chosen one. However, he has yet to reach his full fruition. He has yet to become his prime. He has yet to reach the level of where he can start bullying the world and changing it. He is a mere sapling. And if you go join the war right now, it will cause Luffy's death. He will never grow into the person that you, Kaido, want him to be. And therefore you can't join the war. Be patient. Wait 3 years and then fight Luffy. But pass on this one. And we know Shanks brought Law along, and Law was there purely to save Luffy. Like, Shanks had this whole plan in mind that he was going, stopping the war, Law's gonna come, submarinify Luffy, he's gonna get healed, he's gonna be okay. Making sure Luffy was okay was a massive priority for Shanks when he stopped that war. So him telling Kaido that, listen man, we need Luffy okay, because in 3 years when he is Joy Boy, then you'll fight him, then perhaps you can have an impactful death at the hands of Joy Boy, cementing him as a true force to be reckoned with. Because just looking at the story from a political perspective, if this new schnook, Luffy, okay, he's this random dude, he's this new guy from a new generation, if he beats the strongest man alive, Kaido, the king of the beasts, one of the emperors of the sea, while especially Kaido was teamed up with Big Mom, which is just like, you know, icing on the cake, do you not think that would cement Luffy as the #1 numero uno threat in the eyes of the world government? Do you not think that would cement Luffy as the most dangerous man alive? It would, which is such a massive impact coming from Kaido's death. This is literally everything Kaido dreamed of. Kaido is a martyr. I know, it's crazy, but it all kind of fits, which is why when Kaido fights Luffy the second time and wins, he says, you weren't Joy Boy, you lost to me. He was waiting for 3 years for this fight against Luffy so that Luffy could beat him at full power. Not so that I was waiting for you to become strong to test the extent of my abilities, Aizen style. No, he wants someone to become stronger than him because that will make him Joy Boy. That will make Kaido's death relevant, and that will catapult the age into a new era, with Joy Boy becoming the numero uno threat of the world. Kaido does not want to become king of the pirates. Kaido wants to become the strongest man alive and be beaten by the person that will take that title next. Kaido is gunning for that impactful death that he had begrudging respect for Roger, Whitebeard, Odin, and his version of that is by catapulting the chosen one to the limelight of the next era. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been No One Understands Kaido, because no one does. Not even Kaido's underlings understand Kaido, bro. They think he wants to become the strongest, but he wants to become the strongest with the little caveat that he's beat by somebody. God, that would make him such a cool character. It would make him the coolest martyr villain of all time. Oh my God. And it actually answers so many of the questions we've been having until now. Women and gentlewomen, thank you so much for watching. I'm very proud of this video. Share it around if you want. I don't know, that would be sick. Have yourself a most wonderful evening. Subscribe for future analyses, because I do them now again. I'm back. And remember to stay weird, fam.